Hey everyone, welcome to another episode from Pacific Arc TIG Welding. My name is Dusty. Thanks a lot for tuning in today. Today, we're gonna get back to something I did a little while ago. It was a lot of fun. We're just gonna hang out today. We're gonna do a Q&A episode. My schedule has been completely blown out the last 6 weeks or so. I've been working my ass off trying to get a bunch of art projects done, film a bunch of demos and stuff for YouTube. So this week, I'm chilling out. We're just gonna do a little hangout session on Instagram, do a Q&A, check in with everybody. I put out a story asking if anybody had any questions. I got some good questions. I put a post out asking if anybody had any questions they wanted to ask. Got some good questions on that too. So today, we'll pick through some of the fun ones. Just have a little hangout. It's gonna be chill here today. But for anybody that's new to the channel, this is not a typical episode. Be sure to bounce back to the previous episodes. I do welding art, it's one of my favorite things to do. I do demos and how-tos on all kinds of TIG welding stuff, so this is not a typical episode. Bounce back at the previous episodes, check them out. They're a lot of fun and there's a lot there for you to watch. Okay, let's get down to it. Let's pop open the phone here. No, don't want to talk right now. Okay, let's see here. So first question comes from Justin Vayers. Sorry if I'm not saying your name right, my bad. Justin asks, what size filler wire do you use when TIG welding? Size and material, amps and post flow, please. Justin, that's it changes all the time. 1.6 millimeter, that's a 1/16 of an inch thick filler rod. 316 stainless steel rod, that's what I use for pretty much everything I do in here steel wise. For aluminum, I do 3.2 mil, it's an 1/8 of an inch, 53-56 filler rod. I also have 40-43, which I bust out once in a while. So it depends what I'm doing. Yeah, I mean, sorry to skip on this question, but most episodes, I put all that information in the description below. I also include it in the video. So as I said, it changes all the time. If you're asking about something specific, hit me up again on Instagram through direct message. I'll help you out however I can. Low battery, F off. I'll do it with 20%, I don't care. Here we go, Tiffany. Tiffany was one of the first students through my online training program. So what's up, Tiffany? Thank you for the question. She asked, what schooling did you go through, courses, etc. I've talked about this on my channel before, a while ago. We have a bit of a different system in Canada here. We also have a very different system in British Columbia compared to the rest of Canada. It's kind of different in most provinces in Canada here. It's super annoying. We have an entry-level program called C, that's C level, it's in the letter C. That's basically like stick welding, oxyacetylene, a little bit of wire feed, very basic stuff. I did that as part of my apprenticeship program. Once I completed that, I went back for my next level. It was the B level program. B level, you get into more specialty stick. You do a lot more wire feed, and then you get into TIG stuff. So we get into TIG root, TIG cap, TIG hot pass, all that stuff on pipe, ton of fun. I then went back, I did my what's called specialty metals. Specialty metals, it's the equivalent to like also an A-level ticket, so A-level being the highest ticket you can get here in BC. I did that goes through like aluminum TIG, stainless TIG, again, more specialty TIG and stuff like that. You do some specialty stick. We did stainless stick welding. That was super sick. Is anybody who's done that, let me know in the comments below. That was fun. Very rowdy, very hard to get a hold of, but yeah, ended up getting the hang of it. It was fun. Then I went back for my, it's called a welding supervisor's ticket. So what that means, it's kind of like an in-house inspection ticket. It's not a certified inspector. It is an inspector appointed to a specific business. So the business that I work at sponsored me to go through it. So we're governed by something called the CWB, the Canadian Welding Bureau. I'm a representative for my shop for the Canadian Welding Bureau. CWB. So it basically lets me do all the inspections in-house. We do non-destructive testing and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. It's, I don't know, it's fun. I get to work with like all the other people in my welding shop are super dope. We all kind of know how to do most of the stuff ourselves, but yeah, it's fun. It was cool to learn. Going back to school is always challenging. I was like 30 when I went back for my C level. I started my apprenticeship like very late. So yeah, being back there when I was like 30 was a bit of a trip, but I managed to get it done and then ended up going back for my supervisor ticket, and that was cool. So it was fun. I'm glad it's done though. School stresses me out. So thanks, Tiffany, for your question. Someone else here, sorry, they didn't leave a, how did I not get the name? Sorry, I apologize. I don't have a name for this one, but it says, what is the story behind your favoritism towards aluminum? I don't really have a favoritism towards aluminum, to be honest. I started out doing aluminum. I started out welding aluminum soccer goals for like a super long time. I was TIG welding all day, every day. And they're big structural, like heavier. I'm actually gonna do a demo on one of my welding tutorials of one of the joints in these soccer goals because it was notoriously difficult. It took me a long time to learn. But yeah, they were heavy duty soccer goals. They were aluminum, bunch of crazy joints. And that's what I did all the time. So I got really good, or at least I thought it was pretty good at aluminum. Fairly quickly. I don't know, it took me like a couple years to really get the full hang of it, and then I continued to do it for years after that. But I kept on practicing, and then once I got kind of the full grasp of aluminum, was pretty comfortable with it, I made the jump to stainless steel, and I fell in love with stainless steel. Stainless steel is so much fun. When I finally got down to transferring my TIG skills over to doing art, stainless steel, it was just like, it was a wrap. I was like, this is my favorite thing to do. So I do love aluminum, but I also love stainless steel. I don't really favor either of them. I switch it up in here often. I got different setups for different machines here. I got some art projects coming out pretty soon that are gonna be more aluminum, so I'm gonna switch it up. The Dab and Dado, what's up, Mitchell? What has been your hardest obstacles in welding and how have you overcome them? Geez, that's a really good question, man. Hardest obstacles were probably, as anybody who TIG welds knows, TIG welding is really difficult. And if you don't have somebody who's a good teacher, it's even more difficult. I was trying to think of the nice way to put this because I didn't have the best instruction. Let's just put it that way. As a lot of people in trades know, notoriously tradespeople are pretty grumpy. They don't have great teaching skills. They don't have a lot of patience and stuff like that. And I was kind of faced with that stuff when I first started to learn. Everybody, I'm sure you can relate. Like everybody has teachers that they really connect with. Everybody has a way of teaching that they don't really connect with. So I had to deal with that, and that was really frustrating because I just wanted to learn. I wasn't getting good information, and then of course when you're a beginner, you make mistakes. It happens. Everybody makes mistakes. I'm freaking in the trade for almost 20 years, and I still make mistakes. But when you make a mistake, whoever's teaching you has to handle it delicately so that somebody learns from it. A lot of the times when someone makes a mistake, they end up feeling bad, they end up feeling guilty, disheartened, frustrated, all that stuff. So that's why I teach the way I do now, whether it's online on my online training program or in person. I always really try and emphasize there's something to learn from every mistake or anything that could have been done better. And that's kind of what I wish I had had growing up with welding. But obviously I found a way through it. I found a way to stay positive, stay motivated. I think the thing that kept me motivated was I just really wanted to do it. I knew it was cool. I knew I kind of had a knack for like some of it. So figuring out the more difficult parts of it was just a matter of time, dealing with that BS, but I did it, we're here. Thanks, Mitchell, that was a good question. JV Fam Life, what's up, dude? Thank you for the question. Did you get into welding for creating art pieces? Was welding a career choice and art just came together? I've told this story a couple times. I told it on a podcast. I went on Arc Junkies podcast. I'll put it on screen right there. I'll also put that in the description below. You can check that episode out. I talked about it pretty extensively. I'll keep it kind of brief here, but I was in visual arts school. I went to college for 2 years for visual arts, and I basically had no idea what I was doing. I just wanted to drink alcohol and party with friends. That's why I went to college. Art school was fun. I did have a real passion for art, but I just didn't take it seriously. One of the classes that we did do was metal sculpture. And in metal sculpture, we got to do some welding. And that was the first time I'd ever tried it. And it was like so much fun. I had such a good time. So I actually actively started seeking a job to learn how to weld. At my shop, I started out sweeping the floors. It was what I was doing at night after art school. So I went to school all day long and then had to bust my way all the way back to another town to my welding shop to do the night shift sweeping floors. And then when everybody left, I would clean up real quick and then I would practice welding when everybody left. And that's kind of how I got started with it. So in a way, art came first, but it was when I found welding, I kind of forgot all about art, jumped all the way over to welding, got into that for a long time. And then it was only recently, it was like 3 years ago, I kind of really got the itch to do some metal artwork again. And I started getting back into it and boom, here we are. Got a YouTube channel where I do weld art and all kinds of stuff. So that's kind of a weird meandering route of how I got back to art. So I'm glad I did though. I've honestly never been happier with welding. Finding art has seriously rekindled my love of welding. I was, to be totally honest, super sick of welding. Literally considering another career for a while because I was just over it. So art literally saved my trade. I still might not be welding if I had not have done this. So I appreciate this YouTube channel project every day. So good question. We got another one from Husky 30. Would a cheater lens benefit a new TIG welder even if their eyesight is fine? For everybody out there who doesn't know what a cheater lens is like a magnification lens you can put on the inside. It kind of like slides up over the lens and it kind of like magnifies a little bit. I've tried the cheater lens just for the sake of seeing it. It kind of made it awkward. The thing that really bugs me about it is that with TIG welding, you have to coordinate your torch, you have to coordinate your rod, and it's a very like dexterous three-dimensional task that you have to do. And when you move your line of sight up and your head's not in relation with it, my depth of field was a little bit wacky. I was like, I don't know, it was weird. I didn't really like it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it though. If you want to do it, go for it. Hit me up, let me know if you do it and let me know how it goes. FTW TIG Kid. What's FTW mean? That's crazy. What is your favorite barbecue? Dang, I got lots of stuff. I don't eat red meat. I might eat red meat in the future again, but I'm off it for a while. So I do like hella chicken. We live on Vancouver Island, so we got crazy fish to cook up here and seafood. We do lots of that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to barbecue season. Nat Shields, one of the best questions I got on here. Ramen or pho? Straight up ramen. I love ramen so much. It's kind of ridiculous. If I could eat ramen every day, I certainly would. There's such a severe salt content in ramen, but it's so delicious. We have a couple places in Victoria here that specialize in ramen. They got like ramen sushi deals with like piles of fried chicken on them and stuff. It's just nuts. Yeah, ramen hands down. I love pho's good too, but yeah, if it's one or the other, I'm going ramen all day. Nat Shields also asked, Xbox or PS? I'm a PlayStation dude all the way. I've had a PlayStation for a long time. I love PlayStation, but I have nothing against Xbox. That's fine. I guess the thing between the two is that they have platform exclusive games. PlayStation tends to have most of the games I want. I am bummed out though. There's a game called Scorn coming out and it looks super dope. It's like a bunch of art style theme from an artist that I really like. His name's HR Giger. Unfortunately, that game's for Xbox or PC, that's it. So I don't get to play it. So I'm a little bummed out about that. That's the way it goes. We got The Last of Us for PlayStation, so I'm all about that. Inked Baker, here we go. Her name's Katie. What set you up best for art? I'm a student drooling over a fab job so I can create some useful pieces and other sculpture. Should I take classes in other mediums or focus on making my dream octopus? You want to make a dream octopus? That's sweet. I want to see that for sure. Honestly, my answer would probably be both. My answer would probably be do anything that can up your game to get you pointed in a direction, whether it's art, welding, or a combination of the two. For me, as I said, I went to art school. Even though I was kind of half checked out half the time thinking about partying and girls or something, I got a lot from art school. I got a lot more from the thinking process, more so than the physical, like painting and stuff, which I really appreciated. So that helped me out with what I'm doing now a lot. When I went to school was kind of like, it was fun. I learned a ton of theory that was super important and I'm really glad I did. However, the thing about that kind of was a bummer is most of the stuff I learned in school, I'll never end up doing in my line of work, like ever. It's just a type of welding and processes that are not applicable to the type of welding I do, or at least the shop that I've worked in for a long time. But that being said, in every scenario, even if you're learning something that is out of your comfort zone or out of the realm of what you're gonna be doing at your job, it will play a part in something that you do, whether it's in your job, whether it's in life. It's always good just to learn things, especially when it's hands-on stuff like going to school, when you're in an environment with other students. There's a lot to learn more than just what's in front of you in the classroom. So yeah, I definitely recommend. I don't think anything's necessary. If you want to be an artist, you don't have to go to art school. If you want to be a welder, you don't necessarily have to go to welding school. You can go for in-house training and then you can take tests for certification in other ways. I know in Canada here, I worked in my job for like a couple years without even being certified. I was just practicing and stuff, but then when I was ready, I just went and did my CWB test, got my first ticket to weld, and there we go. I didn't even have to go to school for the first bit. So like Katie, if you really want to do something, do anything that will get you closer to being able to do it. If you want to make your dream octopus, start working on it now. While you're going to school, you might learn some stuff and make you go back and retry some things. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it. It's a great question though. Nice one, Katie. Here's a good one from my friend Greg. Greg was one of the guys that bought one of my commissioned art pieces. So Greg asked, what's your favorite food and dessert? Food, I'll probably go pizza all day. I will mess up a giant pile of pizza any day of the week. I can eat forever. Dessert, damn, I don't know. I don't really get down with dessert a lot. I'm not really much of a sweet kind of dude. Cheesecake's pretty dope. I like cheesecake. Yeah, I'll go with cheesecake. Custom Kiefer asked, what is your motivation to improve at your skills and teach others? This is an interesting question, simply because teaching others does improve my skill. I heard it said in martial arts like a long time ago is that when a student reaches a certain level, they become a teacher, because that's the next level of how they're going to improve, is to start teaching others. When you teach others, you definitely pick up a lot of nuances of things that you can articulate, things that actually like kind of strike something in your brain that you're like, oh yeah, I never really thought of explaining it that way before. Or, that makes a lot of sense. And it's like, that happens all the time when you're teaching people. Now, teaching people in person is one thing, because you can literally get hands-on and help them out. Doing my online program, teaching people by distance, has been such a fun experience. The reason that I'm doing that so much lately is because I find that people I work with really want to be there. It's kind of a new thing. It's something that people need to kind of, I guess it's kind of weird for some people to do it online. The fact that I have figured out a way to do it has taught me a lot, not only just to put the program together for students, but working with students. I do an 8-week coaching program at the moment. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to offer that to students. I might have to do a plan a little bit differently for students in the future, but at the moment I do 8 weeks of coaching with somebody. So I work with them 3 times a week on the phone and we do welding lessons. We go through check-ins and feedback and stuff. So it works. The students that go through my program have literally gone from completely no experience at all. They bought a machine, they realize it's kind of tricky, they don't know how to use it. We do the 8 weeks together, and then I've had a couple students go and start their own businesses after, and I don't know what they do for certification. That's their business, I'm not speaking to that, but everything's done in a sense that I can work with them by distance. We go through a program together that's step by step, and it's kind of really custom curated to each student. I'll like kind of direct them from lesson to lesson for what I feel is appropriate for what they're doing. And it's working really well. It's a lot of fun. It's super rewarding. I have a lot of fun. And probably the biggest thing is that when I'm teaching people, I get better at not only teaching, but I get better at welding too. So yeah, that's my motivation behind that, is helping people learn. I really like helping people out in a way that I wish I had learned. So I guess I get an opportunity to do that now. This YouTube channel is a way to do that. I literally give dozens of hours of content away for free of stuff that I wish I had to learn when I started. So yeah, I just really like sharing. I really like showing people how to do this because it's a lot of fun. I want more people to do the trade. It's fun. Plenty of stuff to weld. Oh my God, Greg. GAW 9576 asked, if you could talk to your 18-year-old self for 1 hour, what would be the main advice you would give? Oh my God. I don't think an hour would do it, man. I was such a moron when I was 18. I'd probably start off with break up with that girlfriend. Pay more attention in school. Go to college and pay attention, because it was a lot of money and it was really a lot of it I wasn't even checked in for. I think like probably the biggest thing is I would probably say like I played it pretty safe when I was young. Like when I got into thinking of jobs and stuff, like I never even thought outside my town. I was like, well, what jobs do we have in our town here? It was like a little town just outside of Victoria. So I would probably say to my 18-year-old self, it was probably the most important thing that I've learned later in my life. In my 30s, this kind of woke me up, was that you can literally do anything you want. Nowadays with the internet, it's kind of crazy. I've started this YouTube channel and my life is like very different than it was before. I'm not making crazy money or anything like that. I'm just having a lot more fun with what I'm doing. It's way more rewarding. I'm like doing something with the trade that I never even thought you could do. Teaching people online, making art and stuff like that. Didn't even know it was an option. So welding was kind of like just good enough. Yeah, I like doing that. That's fun. I'll get a job and do that. I think like probably my biggest advice to anybody who's young, especially when you're coming out of high school, is really you need to think deeply about what you feel like you want to actually accomplish. Basically what I'm saying is, I wish I was more ambitious. I wish I had like the knowledge to know I could set goals that were like really crazy and actually like work my way towards them. People do too many amazing things in the world. When I was coming up, let alone now with the internet, you can literally do almost anything you can think of, and there's no reason that you can't do it. You look at dudes like Elon Musk. That guy, he's really smart. He's a super smart dude, but he's just a dude. He just wanted to do that. Like, what do you think people said when he wanted to build rockets? They probably laughed in his face. So get ambitious, have fun, set goals, man. Like, set goals that scare you and set goals that excite you. When you get excited about something, that like turn something on inside your brain, and you like literally like would wake up early and stay up late to work on these things. Like, that's what you want. You want something that literally lights you up on the inside. So whether it's a sport, whether it's traveling, whether it's a career, whether it's a business you want to start, anything, do it. Being a parent did that for me. When I found out I was going to have my first kid, I was like, it was like a fire lit up inside me. I was so motivated. So yeah, just do something. I would say to my 18-year-old self, just don't think safe, think smart, and think somewhat realistic, but think super ambitious. Push yourself and do something different. Don't just do what everybody else is doing. All right, I'm running out of battery here, and I think this is going on for a while. So I'll pick 2 more questions, then we'll go from there. Urban Shadow, what's up, man? You always comment on my stuff. I appreciate you. What all should I be practicing / doing to prepare for my first TIG job in a fab shop? Oh, damn. Did you get a job at a fab shop? Good for you. All right, Cooper. Honestly, be sharp. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but like when you walk into a new shop and you don't know anyone and you're kind of fish out of water, be sharp, pay attention to what other people are doing, pay attention to everything that's going on, not just what you're doing. When I first got the job in my shop and I was actually doing jobs aside from sweeping the floor, I was usually working around and with other people, and it helped me out a lot to really watch what other people were doing. A lot of the times I would see a project in front of me and I literally wouldn't even know what clamp I needed to use to clamp it to the table. So I paid attention, I looked around, I saw what other people were doing. I asked a ton of questions. Probably like the biggest thing I would recommend and when people start up in my shop, it's the first thing I say. I'm like, if you're not asking me questions every day about stuff, I'm gonna be worried, because nobody knows everything. I don't know everything. So ask tons of questions. It's the easiest way to figure things out. Ask the same question to other people, different people, and get different answers and find out, well, I was told to do it this way, but you do it this way. How come you do it this way? And like, you learn so much from that kind of stuff. You go and see everybody has their own way of doing things. So it's like, it's a trade where a lot of stuff can be very subjective. Everybody has their own way of doing it. A lot of the times there's little things where there isn't just one way to do it. So ask questions, figure out why people do things certain ways. And then when it comes to practicing welding, you just need to practice, man. Like when I was practicing, it was late hours, it was coffee breaks, it was like a lot of time spent just buzzing away. I would have a pile of coupons and just totally toasted pieces of aluminums that I would just weld all over 1,000,000 times. So lots of arc time, watching YouTube stuff. Like you don't gotta watch my channel if you don't want. There's like tons of other channels you can watch. So just watch tons, get educated, have fun. There's a lot of resources to learn out there. Okay, we'll do one more here. Who we got? Oh, here's a quick one. This is from Ripe Tomato Farms. He says, do you have a Patreon or other ways we can support your channel? No, I don't at all. I've thought about doing it. I might do it in the future. It would be cool. I would need something to give back for it. I don't ever just want to ask for money. That's super cheesy. I would want to be able to have more time to do like hangouts and stuff like that. Maybe someday if I get to that point, I'll do something like that. The way you can support my channel, I have an Amazon link that's in the description below. You just click on that, you search for whatever you want, you just buy any of your shopping as normal. It doesn't cost you any money, but just simply because you click on my super fancy link, I get like 0.0001% of the purchase, so it's super worth it. But that's something, I appreciate that. That's cool to see people do that. War Welds asks, you good at judging other people's welds? yeah, I'm pretty good at it. Like I said, I went to school for that, so I kind of have like a pretty decent understanding, especially doing it online. I have to be pretty good at being able to pick out certain things. My students know how to film and photograph from different angles that I like seeing things from. It's a pretty easy way for me to pick out exactly what I can give them feedback on. So yeah, I do have a pretty keen eye for being able to see something and being able to identify pretty much what happened and maybe like a sharper way to approach it next time. So yeah, I've gotten pretty good at that. I always try and be a nice guy about it though. I never ever give anyone crap for doing something wrong, ever. I enjoy helping people, like I said. So looks like someone's trolling my account here. Looks like it was my wife. When will you buy your wife new diamonds? Next question. Okay, we'll do one more here. This is another one from Shopgirl Von Orff. How long before you determined you were comfortable with your skills? I'm still going with that. Seriously, I was doing stuff today that just wasn't going that well. It still happens. I'm actually gonna do an episode for my channel where I'm breaking down a bunch of crappy welds that I did, and I'm gonna break down what happened and why it happened, and just to show everyone, like, I've been welding for like 19 years now, and you put me in a certain scenario that I'm not totally comfortable with, it might not go well. It just happens. That's the process of welding. If anybody out there on Instagram or anyone else ever says that they're perfect all the time, I'm probably not going to believe them. If they are, that's incredible. But myself included, I have days where I struggle. I got to cut my own welds out and try them again. It's not a big deal. You just do it, you identify that it's not good, you fix it, and out it goes. That's like one of the biggest things I learned when I started getting going was, yeah, you can learn how to weld. More importantly, what do you do when it doesn't go well? How do you deal with it? How do you fix it? Why did it happen? What can you do next time? That's the really valuable stuff that you should learn when you're kind of going through, whether it's school or whatever. But yeah, so even, sorry, kind of a long-winded way of answering your question, but yeah, I mean, I was like a couple years in before I could actually get on company product. But yeah, even still to this day, I have stuff that I struggle with, just doesn't go well. I've done a couple videos on my channel where I did not do a good job of what I was doing. It just happens. So that's how it goes. Even after all this time, it's all good. Move on, try and make it better next time. Okay, that is enough for today. I really thank everybody for hitting me up with these questions. I had a lot of good questions. And again, if you don't follow me on Instagram, hit me up on Instagram. I'm doing my best to keep up with comments. I'm kind of having a rough time with it these days because I just can't keep up with them. Not saying I'm popular, I'm just saying I'm more disorganized with my phone more than anything. But I thank you sincerely from the bottom of my heart for all the questions. Everybody who follows me, everybody who watches the show, I really appreciate it. So to everybody who watched, and especially if anybody that watches all the way to the end, I appreciate you so much. I hope you have a good one. I hope everything's cool where you're at. Do something nice for a stranger. It's a public service announcement I give in every video. Just spread some positivity in the world. World needs it. We need more positivity, so do your part. Other than that, thank you very much for watching. Again, my name's Dusty for Pacific Arc TIG Welding. We'll talk to you soon. Peace.